Welcome back to Hypnotic Serpents. As you can see in the thumbnail, we're doing popping versus probing, and how my dad made a mistake. And we're going to do the Hypnotic Serpent and logo of the week.
Alright, for any beginners, there are 2 ways you can sex your ball python.
No, 3 ways. What about RGI?
Yep, he's right. You can send your snake shed off to RGI testing. But if you want to do it at home, you can either pop your snake or probe your snake. And today we're going to show you how to do both. And we're going to tell you which one we prefer and why. So when we first started, I did not like the idea of sticking something inside my snake. I felt like if I did that to my serpent, he would never forgive me. I know I wouldn't. So I watched every popping video I could find, and watched the Mutation Creation popping video on repeat while we practice on our own serpents. And even though we ordered a professional probing kit off of Amazon, I felt that I was good enough that I did not need to probe them, until I made a mistake and almost ruined our name. Alright, we had a big debate on whether we should even talk about this or not, but we do these videos to be as transparent as we possibly can, so that you all can see how we care for our serpents, how clean we are, and basically share our whole journey and the knowledge we take in along the way. And the whole journey means any mistakes we make as well. Then hopefully any beginners watching us can say one day in the future that they basically came up with us by learning from our mistakes and accomplishments. And any pros watching us, that they've been watching us learn and grow since the beginning.
Anyway, back to popping.
Alright, so popping is when you push on a little pocket behind the cloaca, causing the male's hemipenes or the female's vaginal pouches to pop out.
Here we go. We're going to show you how we pop them.
Alright, we're going to start with this awesome GHI Possible Het Clown. And over the years, we've watched many popping videos, every popping video we can find, and one that works for me the best is the Mutation Creation way that Billy Rowe does.
Yeah, we like that way.
And that way is, so you're going to take your index finger and bend it like that and put it right behind the cloaca, which is this little vent thing right here. You can see the vent. You take your index finger and bend it like that and place it behind it, just so you can push pressure on it. And then, but I put my other finger up to it like that behind it, and then use this thumb to hold pressure, and then use this thumb to roll towards it. All right, here we go. Bend this finger, put it right behind the vent, and then roll. And you can see the hemipenes pop all the way out. All right, one more time. Roll towards it. You can see how they pop all the way out. Alright, now we're going to pop this female Mojave Yellow Belly Possible Het Clown. Really beautiful female. Really beautiful example of it. And again, we're going to roll it over. You can see the little vent. Make sure she don't take off. Just roll towards it. See how you see nothing but pink. No signs of color, no redness, no nothing. Alright, now this is how I made the mistake. Sometimes the male does not pop all the way out, but you can still tell it's a male by the dark red or purplish looking color, being that the female is bright pink.
But sometimes the females can have a redness to them that looks like the hemipenes.
Yep, causing you to recheck them, in which case it looks redder and redder every time you check them.
Probably because you're pushing all the blood into the area.
Probably. But this is how I made the mistake of listing one of our babies as a male instead of a female. And I probably would have listed this one as a female. I was so nervous about giving someone out a male instead of a female that any sign of redness, I figured that it was just a stubborn male.
But when we got an inquiry on this GHI Mojave Possible Het Clown, we rechecked it like every time before we sell it, and we got different results.
Yeah, when we rechecked it, he was looking like a she. But we found our probe kit that we had packed away and we probed it. Then we had to message our customer and explain that we had made a mistake. And we told her that if she wanted a male, we have a GHI Yellow Belly Mojave that she could have for the same price. But she said that she had already fell in love with the female and she was fine with it. And after she got her serpent, she even gave us a good review, even after all that.
Big shout out to Ariane for being an understanding and all around awesome customer.
But we had a problem. Even though Ariane got her serpent and was happy with it, It still didn't change the fact that I was wrong about it. So we went and resexed all of our babies. And any females or males that didn't pop all the way out automatically got probed. And that's when we discovered that I didn't make one mistake, but 3 mistakes. So then we had to go fix everything on Morph Market and change the IDs around and everything. It was a mess.
But now we got everything sorted out. And now we came up with a new rule. And that is, if we think it's a male and the hemipenes don't fully pop out, or if it is a female, they get probed. That way we know for a fact that we're not giving out the wrong sex. And now we're going to show you how to probe.
Alright, probing is when you insert a round tip steel probe into the cloaca of your snake. And if it is a female, the probe will only go 1 to 3 scales deep. And if it is a male, it will go 9 to 16 scales deep, depending on how old it is. Normally you would think that the probe should go deeper into the female than it does the male, but as you can see with the diagram, that's the complete opposite. Alright, now we're going to probe this awesome, if you'll show his head, this awesome looking Barnhart Black Pastel Pied Possible Het Clown.
Which is available on Morph Market.
Alright, now we're going to hold it kind of different, more with one hand when you probe it. And you want to hold the tail back. Going to pull the tail back so it pulls the vent open a little bit. And the second to the last smallest probe, you just kind of wiggle it into the side and it goes right in. You don't push it all. You're just guiding it until the first little bit of resistance. And you mark it with your finger, stick it right up to the vent, and we can see that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Definitely a male. A female will only be two scales right there, and we're about to do that. So we know for a fact that's a male. Alright, so this is our awesome professional probe kit, stainless steel probe kit that we use. We're going to use for babies up to subadults, we're going to use the second to the last one right here. And then the third to the last one for anything bigger. So mostly you'll be using this second to the last, smallest. Let's do it one more time. Alright, one more time we're going to probe the other side just in case you didn't see. So we pull the tail back. Move your finger out of the way. We're just kind of working in there. It pulls itself in there all by itself almost. As soon as you feel that any resistance, you stop. And you can see how many scales that is. Definitely a male. Very pretty boy.
Yeah.
Alright, now we're going to probe this beautiful female yellow belly clown.
Yeah, really beautiful. That is available on Morph Market.
And we just barely tap it in there to where there's hardly anything on it. We'll just set it right there. Alright. Now we're going to pick her up, turn her over. And like I said before, it's all in just one hand. And pull back on the tip of the tail so you kind of pull open the vent. I like to stick it right up to the edge and just kind of twist it, and once it goes in by itself. And the first little bit of resistance, you stop. Alright, now you can see there we only got 2 scales there. We'll go ahead and do the other side so you can see again. So I pull back on the tail, I get right up to the edge and just kind of twist it till it goes, and it goes in all by itself. First little bit of resistance, you stop. We got 3 scales there. That's a female. Alright, I feel like probing is so much easier that Damien's gonna do this Barnhart Black Pastel Yellow Belly Het Pied Het Possible Het Clown, and he's gonna do it by himself because he he feels like this is way easier than popping for him.
Okay.
Alright, he's pulling the tail back so that you can lift the vent up a little bit. He's going to put it right on the edge and just twist a little bit till it goes in by itself. First little bit of resistance, you stop, mark it. 2 scales.
2 or 3 scales, kind of hard to see.
Definitely a female.
Yeah.
Even Damien don't have a problem with that.
And this beautiful girl right here is still on Morph Market. Check out these flames and all the yellow belly popcorning. The colors contrast real well too.
Yeah, it does have it's a real good example of yellow belly right there. You see we got the yellow belly going all the way.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It highlights.
Go check her out on Morph Market if you're interested. Alright, now that we've shown you how to pop and how to probe, which one do we prefer? I would have to say both. Although popping is faster, but only by a few seconds, probing is certain, meaning there is no false readings when it comes to probing. So from now on, we will do both. If we don't see fully exposed hemipenes when we pop them, then they get probed automatically. And even if I think I'm sure it's a female, it still gets probed. Because we definitely do not want to give out the wrong sex.
And now we are positive that we never will. Because we are both professional probers now.
That's right. And if anybody watching didn't know how to pop or probe, hopefully we put you on the right path to being a pro.
If you haven't already, definitely watch the mutation creation popping video and the Canova probing video. Both are really awesome and helpful. Okay, now it's time for my favorite part of the video. And that is the Hypnotic logo and Serpent of the Week.
Alright, if you didn't catch our last video, we started doing a Hypnotic Serpent of the Week and a Hypnotic logo of the week. Meaning we pick an awesome serpent and an awesome logo and give them a shout out. We're not saying that's the best logo or the best serpent, just the ones that popped out at us that week. And we try to find serpents that aren't on YouTube already.
Since we slacked last week because we were so busy last week, we're going to do 2 this week. And I guess I'll be first, even though my picks are way better than yours. Alright, for my Hypnotic logo of the week, can't figure out if it's more thinner yards or more finer yards. But either way, it's an awesome logo.
Yeah, it is. And they have a lot of awesome serpents too, especially Ultramel stuff. Alright, so my logo of the week is Slither City, second to none pets. I've always been into lowriders. In fact, the last lowrider I built was 18 years ago, and I still have it.
Yup, and one day it'll be mine.
Yeah, we'll see what your sister has to say about that. Anyway, that's why I like this logo, because it reminds me of something out of Lowrider magazine.
Alright, now my Hypnotic Serpent of the Week, from JD Morse, is this Leopard Spotnose Super Gravel. I love gravel. And it's actually 2 serpents with the same exact genetics. And I think it's so awesome that you can literally duplicate snakes like this. And there is a slight difference, but they're almost exact twins. I think I like the one on the right's head stamp better. And the other fact that I like about them is that they're not visual clowns, but only het clowns. But they still have a crazy clown type head stamp.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. And now for my Hypnotic Serpent of the Week. From Syntex Pythons is this crazy Hurricane Disco Yellow Belly Lesser Krypton.
Possible het hypo.
And this is a perfect example of why we're infatuated with Krypton stuff. This thing is the definition of hypnotic. It's literally hypnotizing. I can get stuck staring at this serpent all day. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I believe that the Krypton is the only way to get a visual puzzle clown looking serpent. But that's a whole nother video.
Alright, there they are. We hope you liked our Hypnotic Serpents and logos of the week. Really hope that we didn't scare anybody away by telling the truth about my dad's mistakes. We just want to be completely honest about our mistakes for y'all. That means sharing our mistakes and showing what we did to fix them. Hopefully this was a helpful video for somebody. So make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Hypnotic.